Welcome to my July plan with me for my bullet journal. This month I went with a hot air balloon theme. Just feels very whimsical and summery. I used a masking tape roll to make a circle with my pencil. That gave me a symmetrical shape, and then it was easier to make the rest of the hot air balloon off of that first circle. Sometimes I find looking at Pinterest or Googling images helps with my design process. So if that helps you, I would recommend it. Alright, and then switching to a brush pen, I'm going to use those thick and thin lines to create the center text. So adding some of those thick and thin lines really helps give that illusion of light and shadows. So where it's thicker is where the shadows are, and then the lighter areas are where the light is hitting. Alright, so for the inside, I did something different. I used some scissors and I created a Dutch door layout. I've been seeing this on YouTube and I wanted to try it myself. So it's sort of a one and done spread. So everything's in one page essentially, and I can see it all at a glance. I also had some extra space on that last page to put in some trackers, which I haven't done before, so that'll be new for this month. Okay, so with that brush pen, putting in July in the corner, and then I used two smaller washi tape rolls to make the tops of the hot air balloons. And then going in with the micron pen and putting in all the details. Okay, and then with a straight edge, putting in all these days for each day of the month. I like this system of the Dutch doors. I will put down a couple inspiration videos if you want to learn more about how to create these and the different options. It'll be my first month trying them, so I'll let you know how it goes. And along the bottom I have my goals, my notes, and my to-do list, which I'm calling tasks. And I'm thinking having everything at a glance like this will be really helpful. Okay, and then just finishing off the last days here. And since I had space, I have these trackers over on the right. So what I'm tracking is getting up early and creating art every day. Something creative that is just for me, not necessarily business related. And also exercise, so walking, yoga, anything like that. And then in this really big one, I'm tracking my water. I'm severely dehydrated. I kind of live off caffeine. So tracking water is a good thing. It's one thing that I know I really need help with. So having it like this, and each day has 8 boxes for 8 glasses of water a day. I'm hoping this will keep me extra motivated. And up in the corner, I have my quick monthly view. Okay, so just filling out all the numbers for each of these days, and then finishing the goals section. Alright, so just filling out those numbers, and then I'm using a Tombow dual brush pen. It's a light gray, and I'm just going to put in each of those water glass boxes. So each one represents one glass of water, and I didn't want to use black. I wanted to keep it a little bit lighter in there. And then when I drink one, I'm just going to color in that little square and then track it that way. And then I'm going to have one day, so there's 31 boxes here for each day of the month to track the other 3. Okay, so I'm using some watercolor and a small brush, and I'm keeping a paper towel on hand just to dab away any extra water and paint. So I haven't used this much water in this journal yet, so we'll see how it does. I'm guessing it'll do pretty well and not bleed through because this book and this paper is pretty fantastic. All the links are below to what I'm using. And then I'm using Winsor & Newton white gouache to put in some clouds. Alright, so while the background dries, I'm going to fill in the hot air balloon with 2 colors. These are Tombow dual brush pens. I'm using a light yellowish orange and a pink, just keeping everything kind of fun and airy and whimsical. And then with a light gray, going in and adding a little bit of shadows around some of that banner and the underneath the bows. And then using the micron sets, I'm using the smallest one and I'm adding a few extra cross-hatching details and some line work. Adding in these final touches really pulls that whole thing together, and I liked how it looked, so I'm adding a few of those lines and cross-hatching shadows into the clouds as well. And then going back in with a few areas with that white gouache just to give a little bit more highlight onto some of the clouds. So this paper dries pretty quickly, and as you can see, there was no bleeding through on the other side. And I'm so impressed because I used a lot of water on the front. So to keep it really simple and light and airy still, I'm just putting that blue sky on the top and fading it out towards the center, and then putting a little blue sky along the bottom. Okay, and then also adding the same pink and yellow designs onto the smaller hot air balloons, and then also using the micron to add in a little illustration details. And using that same Winsor Newton gouache, the white, I'm going to go in, put in some clouds, and add a few more illustration details on there to finish it up. Okay, it's all flowing pretty nicely. Let's take a look at the flip through. So we have the cover with the big hot air balloon, and then my one and done spread, which I'm really excited to use, with each of the days in the middle, and my monthly view on the top, my trackers, and my goals, and my notes, and my tasks all laid out. I did notice that when I was working with it, that some of that center binding is fraying a little bit, probably because I cut really close to the binding, so I may have to do something different for next month, like cut vertical instead of horizontal. So I'll experiment this month, see how it goes, and maybe switch it up next time. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you have fun planning your July. And be sure to check the links below in the description on all the places you can find me and learn more. If you like this, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.